Hey guys, this is Ming with Fishaholics, and today I'm going to show you this new camera that I got. It's called the SJ CAM M20, and I've been using it lately, and I gotta say, I'm impressed. And the thing that caught my attention about this camera is its ability to record in slow motion, and I thought that was really cool to capture all those top water action shots, or if you're going to release a fish underwater, you can get all that stuff in slow motion. So that was the main reason why I wanted to check out this camera. And a few other things that kind of surprised me too. So I'm going to compare this camera with the SJ 4000, which is the camera I'm using currently. And most of the videos I've done is with that camera. I mean, it's a nice little unit, but I wanted to try something new, and this thing I think it's worth it. So this camera comes with these little ports. This is your HDMI port, which you can actually connect to your TV and you can view the camera like a webcam. Here's your mini USB where you can charge it and upload your videos, and your SD slot. I think this camera can take a 64 gig card. I haven't tried it yet. Currently I have a 32 gig card and it's working great. Another thing is you have these LED lights that'll flicker on when you turn the camera on, and this LED light up here as well. And the microphone on here is actually pretty good. I'll show you in my video. All that's just from the camera microphone, and you can hear the fish splashing and me breathing actually. So it captures a lot of noise. The side buttons here, this one's for Wi-Fi. So most of the SJ cams now, they come with Wi-Fi, so you can control and record and view your viewfinder here from your iPhone or your phone. And this button down here is your quick menu option, and here's your power on and here's your record. So let's power this thing on and scroll through the settings. These are the settings I use. I won't go through all the features. There are other YouTube videos about this camera that'll do a better job of that. And to get to the settings, click on this love button up here twice, and it'll bring you to this option here. So they also have these default settings, underwater, drone and motion detector, or car mode. I won't go over those, and there's also a remote control. That's the cool thing about this camera. You can buy separate control units like a watch, and you can control the camera that way. And if you go into the settings or setup, resolution is very important. This camera has a 4K and 2K option. What I found is the 4K and 2K don't it's not that they don't work. For me, I just found it a little grainy. Maybe because they're in 24 frames per second and 30. But the option I'm using is the 1080p in 60 frames per second. And the reason why I like that is because when I'm moving around a lot, the camera can capture more video or frames just because it's doing 60 frames a second versus the 30. And you can also switch it to 1080p. Which is 30 frames per second here, and they also have a crazy one, 720 at 120 frames per second, which may come in handy for some of you guys, but I like to stick to the 1080 at 60 frames per second. Another thing I like to use is the field of view. Right now I have it set to narrow, and you also have middle and wide. What this does is it reduces the distortion in the view. So if you leave it on narrow, you'll capture less of the background or whatever you're trying to shoot, but you'll get less distortion. So let's say you have a white line or white object, not a white object, a straight object in front of you. At the edges, it's going to bend and distort. So having a narrow view will minimize that distortion. And then gyro sensor. This is another cool feature about this camera. The gyro sensor, if you turn it on, it's kind of like a stabilizer. when you're running or walking down the shoreline or on the boat or whatever, it stabilizes the camera and you won't get all these shaky videos that hurt your head. So that gyro sensor, I highly recommend you turn it on when you use yours. And another feature that you need on is distortion correction. That also goes back to that distortion thing I was telling you about. So you want that correction turned on so you don't get these bends at the edges of the view. And one more thing I want to talk to you about is the slow motion, which is right here, slow record. So by default it goes to 2x. And what this does is it slows the video down 2 times. And you also have the option of 4 times or 8 times. And to access that quickly, you click on this down button here. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but if you click on slow motion, it'll the features will pop up. So you get 2x, 4x, and 8x. What I find is that 2x and 4x, the quality of the video is quite good. But once you go to 8x, it slows down the your video, but the quality goes away. Sometimes it depends on what your application is. If you're just strictly viewing it on a phone, it may not matter. But if you're going to view it on a big screen or on your computer, it'll look real grainy. So it just depends on what you're trying to use it for. But I like to stick to 2x. It slows it down quite a bit, and I'll show you a video of that too. So if you like this camera, check it out. You can find it at gearbest.com. They got a lot of cool electronics, cameras, and all that kind of stuff over there. That's also where I got this one. I'll put a link down in the description for my YouTube guys. And if you're viewing this on the Fishaholics website, I'll put a link in there as well. So check out the videos that I took on a recent fishing trip and see if you like this camera. So leave a comment. Oh, got him. Got him. Got him. Buzz Bama on the metal trailer. Wow.